welcome to another exciting edition of Lights Camera Cricket. I'm Radhika Tongar and we will discuss the IPL action from tonight's matches. And it was Chennai who performed brilliantly and staked their claim at the top of the IPL table with a brilliant 7-wicket victory over Punjab. Punjab's woeful batting display continued in the IPL with wickets falling at regular intervals. With star batsmen like George Bailey, Glenn Maxwell and David Miller once again failing, Punjab were reduced to 55 for the loss of 5 wickets. Akshar Patel and Rishi Dhawan formed a decent partnership towards the end to take Punjab to 130 for the loss of 7 wickets. In response, Chennai didn't have an ideal start, losing Michael Hussey and Brendan McCullum in the first 2 overs. But Faf du Plessis and Suresh Raina then joined forces, sharing a brilliant partnership to revive the innings. The duo shared a 92-run stand for the 3rd wicket. Rishi Dhawan finally managed to get the wicket of du Plessis, but by then Chennai were already in command of the match. Let's take a look at the scorecards now. Obviously, not a great batting display by Punjab out there. 130 for the loss of 7. Chennai chasing it down pretty comfortably with a half-century from du Plessis and a 41 not out from Suresh Raina. Well, let's take a look at who our player of the day was, and it was without doubt the star Chennai batsman Faf du Plessis. 55 runs of 41 deliveries with 5 boundaries and 1 6. And a smart over of the day was the 10th over of the match, which was bowled by Ravindra Jadeja. In that over, he gave away 2 runs, and obviously the big wicket of Glenn Maxwell was also claimed by Jadeja in that brilliant over. Let's take a look at the points table now. With that win, Chennai are sitting pretty comfortably at the top of the IPL table. Obviously, Punjab right at the bottom. It is the middle of the table which gets very exciting with the upcoming matches and places up for grabs in the playoff. Well, I would like to welcome both my guests now. Nikhil Chopra joins me in the studio, and I'm also joined by former India captain Saurav Ganguly from Kolkata. Dada, I'll come to you first. 130 was never going to be a difficult target for Dada. You know, it was never going to be a difficult target for Chennai to chase down. Punjab have had a woeful season. Were you disappointed with the batting display? Would you have wanted them to probably put in more effort? Your Maxwells and Baileys, Miller not being able to perform once again?
Yeah, it's amazing actually that how such good players keep failing for so long. I think it's a question of confidence, a lack of confidence which developed over the period. This team was in the final last season. Obviously it was a lot because of the way Glenn Maxwell played. But this season has been very, very disappointing. What has been even disappointing is that they haven't recovered because they are such top class players. They don't fail for such a long period. The likes of Maxwell and Bailey and Mitchell Johnson have been part of the World Cup winning teams. Whether they were highly motivated or not to play the IPL, we're not sure, because they've just come out of a World Cup win. So it's been disappointing from that, because you know there are in T20 cricket you'll win someday, you'll lose someday. That's fine. But when you're such good players, the likes of Murli Vijay, the likes of George Bailey, Miller, Maxwell, you know, Gurkirat, Virendra Sehwag, Mitchell Johnson, you know, you don't expect this quality to keep failing over such a long period of time, especially in 2020 format. So that's been the most disappointing part of Kings 11 Punjab. They'll have to forget this season and hopefully they will come back better next year.
Nikhil, let me come over to you now. In fact, what about the Chennai batting? They obviously chased it down pretty comfortably. Wasn't a very big score out there. But du Plessis contributing, Suresh Raina, Dhoni finally coming among some runs. So great out there going into the playoffs for Chennai.
True. The middle order firing. And it was, you know, necessary for Mahendra Singh Dhoni also to come and get some runs, because I believe this is McCullum's last game. He won't be available for the next game. That's why Hussey was given an opportunity, Smith. So slight change in terms of the balance or maybe the combination of the side. So Radhika, it was important for them to go out there, test some guys who've been warming the bench just before the big playoffs. It was important to get that combination going. But, you know, 130 was never that big a threat to the Chennai side. Having said that, they lost those 2 early wickets, but I guess Faf and Suresh Raina have been in terrific form for Chennai. So, you know, pretty easy. Had the score been about 150, 160, could have been a different ball game.
Could have been a different ball game. Let's see. But you know, Dada, like Nikhil mentioned, obviously probably the last match for Brendan McCullum. Hussey made his entry into this match, the first IPL game that he's played. Couldn't really perform. Dwayne Smith sitting out. You feel this was the right time to Chennai to try out things with McCullum going and probably them having to play with Hussey in the playoffs?
I think Hussey is a good player, there's no doubt about it, but the problem which Hussey will face is he doesn't play regular cricket. Brendan McCullum has had a long season, they had a great World Cup in the final, and he has to go because New Zealand are touring England, and he's such a key player. I think it will be a big loss for the Chennai Super Kings because he was a man in form and he was one of the most important part of CSK this season, scoring runs at the top. The likes of Plessis, MS Dhoni, Suresh Raina didn't have a great season. You know, you can see that all of them had a big World Cup, big tour of Australia, and it is slowly creeped into their game, which is quite natural. Now Hussey coming back, yes, as I said, he's a good player.
You know, Nikhil, in fact, Ashish Nehra is a pretty important player out there for Chennai, you know, and he seems to, Dhoni's wanted to give him that rest because he's obviously somebody who's prone to injuries. He got his rest, he's come back. Were you impressed by, say, overall the Chennai bowling today, the way they bowled? Because obviously Punjab haven't performed well, but it is a good batting lineup, and restricting them to 130 was obviously a good performance.
True. A little surprising that, you know, Punjab playing at home, they know the conditions well, they know the pace of the wicket. It wasn't one of those flat belting batting tracks, but at the end of the day, this is your home game. You should understand, you know, sometimes when you're looking to get ahead of yourselves, looking to probably get 170, 180, you lose wickets. The important thing is when your batting hasn't fired right through the season, sometimes you need to do your basics, build a platform, and then look to capitalize. You know, having said that, I guess you got to give credit to the way the spinners have bowled. The youngster Negi's bowled well, Jadeja's bowled well, Ashwin's bowled well. So there's some quality 3 spinners in the Chennai ranks. So I guess, you know, once again, the Kings 11 side probably didn't calculate well enough, and they had to pay the price.
You know, Dada, in fact, spinners have been a sort of revelation this IPL season for all franchises. They've done really well. And in today's match also, Pawan Negi was brilliant. And then Ravichandran Ashwin was brilliant as well with his performance. He didn't give away too many runs, and he's sort of been brilliant. So obviously, spinners have done a great job, and they've done really well for Chennai.
Yeah, absolutely. I think slow bowlers have a big place in T20 cricket, whether it's IPL or international cricket. You look at the best bowlers, Sunil Narayan for the Knight Riders, he's a spinner. Ashwin for Chennai, you know, they've done wonderfully well for their teams. Harbhajan Singh for Mumbai. So spinners have a great role, and what's even better for the CSK that they did at Mohali, where the wicket doesn't help spinners so much. You can understand in Chennai where there is grip and turn, but once you go to Mohali, it just assists the fast bowlers a bit more. So I think it's been a great effort from Chennai.
But what is it, Dada, that you would want Chennai to work on going ahead? Obviously, they will, in most likelihood, finish at the top of the IPL table, something that Chennai were really looking to going into the playoffs. They've had their sort of difficulties out there. The middle order seems to have not fired, but today considerably Plessis did a good job, Raina did a good job, McCullum is leaving the side. What is it that Chennai should look at going into the playoffs?
You know, just hope the luck stays on their side in the semi-finals, because semi-finals are like that. You look at India, they played well in the World Cup, but you know, on that day in the semi-final they lost to Australia. So when you go to those last 4, it depends on that particular day. And Dhoni has been in this situation before. Chennai has been in this situation before, where they have played exceptionally well in big tournaments. So probably Dhoni has got to use his experience and just deal with the way he has dealt with semi-finals when he's won competitions. I don't think they can change much at this stage. They've been outstanding throughout the competition. That's why they are finished at the top. And I don't think they need to worry about it. Just turn up on the big day, stay switched on and play to their potential. That's all you can do in big semi-finals.
Absolutely. In fact, there is a big second Saturday offering in the IPL as well. It is Rajasthan who take on Kolkata, and it is a must-win match for both teams. More importantly, Rajasthan. Obviously, both teams are still in contention for a playoff berth. Rajasthan have stumbled majorly after starting with 5 wins on the trot. In the subsequent 8 matches, they managed just 1 win. This finds them in the situation they are now. They must win against Kolkata to remain in contention. captaincy has recently been shifted from Watson to Smith, and they will need their big stars to fire if they are to win this encounter. Situation is pretty much the same for Kolkata as well, who are currently second in the table with 15 points. If they win, they will seal a spot for the playoffs, but if they lose, it is their last match of the league, so obviously the result of other matches will confirm their progression in this IPL. This match is supposed to be played at the Brabant Stadium and is about to start in just a few minutes from now. Dada, obviously a must-win encounter out there for Rajasthan, and they seem to have started really well, something that Rajasthan do off and on. They did that last season as well. You win 5 matches, then you come in a spot where it becomes difficult for you to qualify, and now they've changed their captains as well. What is it that has gone wrong with Rajasthan?
It's amazing, isn't it? Even last season they went through the same phase. I think it's the depth of the side. And once again, there have been Australians, the likes of Faulkner, Shane Watson and Steve Smith, their main players. And once again, they've had a big World Cup and a big 4-5 months ahead. So I don't know whether it's fatigue which has brought them into these positions. Captains have been changed. And I think they're in a little difficult positions. They're playing at home, I understand, but they've won only 1 out of the last 8 games. So that's the negative area for them. Hopefully they can turn it around, but I don't know whether still that will guarantee them a place in the last 4. On the other hand, KKR, they've not been the great travellers. They've been invincible at home, but moment they've travelled outside, they've struggled. They lost to Mumbai in the last game, and I think it's a big game for today. I think for Rajasthan, the advantage is they're playing at home, and they will be in a better position than the KKR. So it's a big game for both, as you said.
In fact, Nikhil, Rajasthan have won the toss and elected to bat first. A must-win game for them out there. The Brabant has seen really high scores. Do you think a good decision for them to bat first, or would they have rather chased it down?
Well, I guess, for a big game, you'd want to put runs on board, put more pressure on the opposition. It's going to be interesting because the Knight Riders always look to back their spinners. They've been, doing well in the competition at home on tracks where there's a little bit of purchase for the spinners. At the Brabant, there's going to be some bounce. I'm not sure it's going to be too pacey, but at least the bounce is going to be there, so there might not be too much turn. So some of the other guys might enjoy playing their shots. It's how some of these youngsters from the KKR side, Radhika, go out there and perform. This is a big game. Make no mistake about it. We'll have to see the composition of the side. Is KKR playing their 3rd spinner, or they're playing the 2 spinners in Narayan as well as Hogg, or they drop somebody and they play Morni Mokal. So that's an interesting little combination where Gautam Gambhir will have to find out whether he's playing or not.
The other final question out there, obviously, like you've said, Kolkata and other teams have also relied heavily on their spinners. With this match and the way Nikhil mentioned, obviously the Brabant probably not favouring spinners that much. Who do you favour in today's tie, and who do you think will make it to the playoffs?
It's very hard to say who will make it to the playoff at the start of the game, but as Nikhil said, it's a good toss to win. It's a good wicket to bat first. Obviously, Kolkata likes chasing. If you see the way they have played in the last 2 or 3 IPLs, they have chased totals. Even in the big final last year, they chased a massive total and won it. It's going to be a good wicket at the CCI. It's a fast-scoring ground because there's so many practice wickets on the side, the ball just travels away. So not many score is safe. The Rajasthan Royals almost chased 200 a few weeks ago. So nothing is safe, and as I said, whoever holds the nerves will win today.